السيدات والسادة أعضاء الكونغرس الأمريكي.
Ladies and gentlemen, members of the US Congress, I cannot find enough words that will express my happiness to be with you here today and to have a word with you today, or a testimony only 80 days after I left my prison. After 4 years I spent in an unjustified detainment campaign, after years of contesting in the first Egyptian presidential elections, and where I came in second between 10 contestants. With gratitude, I will not forget, as long as I live, the stance of the representatives of the free peoples led by the US Congress and the European Parliament, everybody who defended my right in freedom, in a victory for principles over the balances of administrating interests that usually, unfortunately, prevail in this period, and guess the fact that our most important victory in this century is the globalization of human rights is being lost. History will always remember the role of every brave local or international person that adopted the issue of freedoms and raised the voices of those oppressed and those who were stripped from their rights. The pictures and names of those honorable people will be engraved in the minds of all of those who faced the bitterness of oppression and injustice and being behind bars as a prize for asking for his freedom to install democracy as the only way, the straight pathway for national peace and international peace that cannot be achieved via political monopoly or tyranny that can only get to hatred and oppression, and also terrorism that hurt us, our children and your children, our homes and your homes. History will always remember and hold high the name of Émile Zola, who adopted with enthusiasm the issue of the French officer Jarvis that was oppressed in France. Zola came to hold his case in all international arenas, and then the world ruled for his freedom. And I think that the nobleness and the traits of knights of many of Zola came to my mind in the prison and proved that the human conscience does not recognize international borders, where we find illegitimate regimes hiding behind those borders to practice every bad practice and crimes against its own people. So will I find in you Zola between the representatives of the free peoples? I want to comment on the resolution that is before you and that will be issued by Congress, and I was informed about some of its points via the drafts. But it does answer some worrying questions, but they are legitimate, on whether the issue of freedoms and democracy, its minimum limit will stay as a priority in the face of grave violations for freedoms stated in the international law and international agreements. We know that America is part of the world, and it's not all of the world, but it does bear the biggest moral responsibility, biggest weighted moral responsibility regarding the dreams of those who long for freedom and the prevalence of democratic principles. The slogan of "Yes, we can" should not be just for internal issues or for resolving international issues, but the peoples who are facing oppression or who long for freedom want to hear America say, yes, we can achieve the equation of balancing between democratic principles and interests and not compromising between them. Yes, we can answer the 3 a.m. call when there is a threat to democratic principles with the same awareness when there is a threat to interests in the other parts of the world. we share our security is common, and we have to invest in our common humanity.
تنبه لمثل هذه الخروقات التي تتصل بالحرية والديمقراطية. إيمانا منا بأن أمننا المشترك لا يتحقق إلا بالاستثمار في إنسانيتنا المشتركة.
The ceiling of ambitions is being raised in Egypt and the Arab world, and the support President Obama got in Egypt and in the Arab world, those streets were moved by what happened in America, and they too want mechanisms for change, and this doubles the responsibility of America, whether popular America or official America, regarding helping those people get back their lost freedoms and lost rights, so that America would live again in the spirit of those people who suffered from the nightmares of tyranny and dictatorship, and also suffered from American promises that were not kept, and we have from the history many examples where the Arab people chanted for the life of America and the name of Americans, and then turned against it. That who reads history well is the one that can make it. At the end of World War I, President Wilson talked about the 12 principles, and the last of those principles talked about the right of every people in self-determination. And in Egypt, the 1919 revolution came against the British occupation, and Egyptians chanted for the name of Saad Zaghloul, the leader of the revolution, and also Mr. Wilson. And then when Mr. Wilson suddenly recognized a British guardianship over Egypt, then the demonstrators turned against him, and this also happened in Syria when America recognized French deputation over Syria and Lebanon. And then when President Roosevelt talked about 4 freedoms, the enthusiasm of Arabs turned from Hitler to America. Then came President Truman as successor to Roosevelt, and he violated the promises of Roosevelt during World War II, and that caused a shock in the Arab world, and again they turned against that because of the frustration they suffered. And then what happened in 1956 when America got back its popularity in Egypt and elsewhere? Yeah.